Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Crew of Terreanians 61st Parade here in downtown Houma, right here on HTV. I'm Hillary Domang along with Ken Jenkins. Ken, going to be a great time here. The 61st time. That's a lot of years that these people have been riding. And, of course, you can hear the police escort right in front of us right now. It is a beautiful day for the parade and thousands of people out here.
Yes, it is, Hillary. It is loud out here right now. The excitement is high. Houma is amped up, pumped up. It's going to be an excellent, excellent parade here for the Crew of Terreanians.
And, of course, as you're watching this on TV right now in the delayed broadcast, they have another parade that's following this one, and that's the Crew of Mardi Gras because they got postponed yesterday evening because of some really bad weather that went through the east side. So they are riding a west side, which they normally don't. They're normally on the east side. So the Crew of Mardi Gras following the Crew of Terreanians, and we're going to have a great time here. The king this year, king number 61 of the Crew of Terreanians, is VJ Caro. He's been with the club for 29 years. So I don't know if you call that paying your dues or endurance, but he's the king this year.
Well, I can tell you one thing. It is super loud out here. I can barely even hear you, Hillary. But I'll tell you what, I'm excited. I'm amped up. You mentioned that the second parade following immediately after Terreanians due to inclement weather yesterday in Houma. But we're excited that they're going to be able to participate. Here we have the sheriff passing in front of us now.
Sheriff Vernon Bourgeois. And, of course, as we mentioned, this is the 61st parade. This club was formed in 1950. A group of prominent Houma businessmen informally gathered and decided to start a new carnival club. Now, right here in front of us right now is the scout troops that are carrying the colors, Louisiana flag, the scout flag, and the American flag as they pass by us. We're talking about the beginning of this parade. The first time they rolled was on Monday, February 5th at 7:30 at night. This used to be a night parade years ago.
Outstanding. And it shows here that the first captain of the Crew of Terreanians was Dr. Arthur Anisman. By parade time, the Crew of Terreanians had incorporated as the Greater Houma Carnival Club Incorporated. Many obstacles appeared on the road to success for this club. This first year, such as renting floats at an affordable price, transporting the floats to Houma, finding a way to properly illuminate the floats, and securing costumes.
And of course, the original guys that got this going along with Dr. Anisman was Frank King, Merkel Carnegie, Ernest Bill was Secretary of Treasurer. So they did a lot of work to get this going. And of course, one of the most entertaining parts of Mardi Gras right in front of us right now, and that's the Shrine Club motorcycles, and they really add a lot. And it's not just the Shriners on the motorcycles. They have the dune buggies, they have the clown units, they have the golf cart units as well. And of course, Shriners nationally are just famous for raising money for kids, for hospitals with burn units, for pediatric units, for kids orthopedic units, which they have a hospital in Shreveport with that. So the Shriners, you come out here to the parades and you see them having a good time, whatever, but they do great things all year.
That's right, Hillary. They also do escorts for weddings, 5K runs, and assist the Terrebonne Sheriff's Office. All of these units make up the Houma Shrine Club, which is governed under the Jerusalem Temple. Also, the Shriners are and have been a part of the Crew of Terreanians Parade for many years, and it's really great to have them participating again this year. They're really exciting to watch.
Great crowd here in downtown Houma. The music is just, wow.
Super loud, super loud. Here's the Captain America type, I guess
love
you could
it.
say tricycle there.
I love it. They do such a great job of putting these units together, and like I said, we're big kids, okay? We love that stuff.
Absolutely. I don't know if we mentioned, but just want to go ahead and mention that the theme again is what time is it for the Crew of Terreanians today on this Sunday, March 6, 2011.
The 61st parade for the Crew of Terreanians. And of course, Mr. VJ Caro, we mentioned him earlier. He is King Terre, the 61st. His queen is Miss Taylor Brooke Carnegie, and she is here on the reviewing stand. They will have their toast a little bit later, and it is a great time. And when you see it from this perspective, from the reviewing stand, all the families of all of the royalty, the people who run the crew of Terreanians all year long and put a lot of effort into this, their family are here as well celebrating. And it's a great finale here on the reviewing stand because Mardi Gras is so big and so expansive.
Yeah.
All year long, they have something going on. It is not just about the parade and the tableau, and getting to this point takes a lot of work.
Absolutely. And also another bit of history, in 1966, the crew changed its corporate name from Greater Homer Carnival Club Incorporated to Terre Carnival Club Incorporated. Also in 1967, the crew of Terreanians minted its first doublon and suffered its only rained-out parade.
Can you believe that? They finally get, they mint their own doubloons, and then they get rained out.
Yep. And then in 1975, the crew celebrated its 25th anniversary. That was a huge milestone, I'm sure. It's something to be extremely proud of.
And in 2000, not only did they celebrate their 50th golden anniversary, but they moved the tableau and ball to the newly opened home of Terrebonne Civic Center, which all of the clubs have done now.
Absolutely. Lots of cheers on the way here. We see that it's going to be the first band approaching.
And right before them, right in front of the reviewing stand right now is, you talk about a guy with a lot of energy. That is the captain of the ball for 2010-2011, Mr. Donnie Bro. Donnie loves Mardi Gras and loves the crew of Terreanians. He's been heavily involved for a lot of years, and he just absolutely loves it. I saw his lovely wife, Julie, on a reviewing stand a little while ago, and he absolutely loves it. And you'll notice a theme, too, as we get the captains and the Dukes of Terreanians. They are a crew where they don't necessarily ride in the convertibles. These guys like to walk the route and shake hands and give doubloons and give beads to everybody. They really make it a huge experience for everybody around them. Instead of sitting on the back of the convertible doing the, the standard Mardi Gras way, they're out and about talking to everybody, having a great time. They really enjoy themselves.
And it's an excellent day to be out walking around. It's a beautiful day. It's actually quite cool. It's about 55 degrees or so, 56 degrees. So I'm sure he's appreciating the fact that it's not very hot. Walking around in that costume, he's able to really move around quite a bit without getting way too overheated.
Absolutely, and of course, as we mentioned, this parade on the 6th of March here, Sunday, in downtown Houma, and terrible weather came through here last night and yesterday evening, and I think everybody is so excited that the weather got past, and you have everything going on here. And there you see Donnie Bro, the captain of the ball, saluting everyone there on the reviewing stand, and this year's queen, of course, he is acknowledging as well. And see right now, we'll see him a little bit later. Parish President Michel Claudet is here to do the honors representing the parish when they do all the saluting later. And of course, Donnie was saluting the Queen, Miss Taylor Brooke Carnegie.
Such excitement. He is amped up, man. I got to tell you, I can appreciate someone that gets out there and really jumps around and gets the crowd just so into Mardi Gras. I can tell you that's exciting.
He really enjoys it, as do a lot of people. We'll talk about a lot of the folks in crew of Terreanians as they come by here, whatever. They are just terrific, and really all the carnival crews. You have to have people who literally live and die for it and absolutely love what they do all year long. Now the Vanderbilt Terrier Regiment in front of us under the direction of Mr. Brad Adams and Mr. Steve Wilson. The drum majors are Hunter Bound and Megan Chauvin. The Terrier Regiment has 138 members. It's Mr. Adams' second year back as the band director after a brief stint in administration at Vanderbilt. It's Mr. Wilson's 5th year. So let's go ahead and listen up to the Vanderbilt Catholic High School Terrier Regiment. band facing toward the reviewing stand. Going to play a number for everybody up here, so enjoy.
All right. You
Very
hear the
good
cheers.
performance.
Excellent performance. Also want to point out that Vanderbilt Catholic Band at the Louisiana Showcase of Bands, they were awarded percussion and drum major champions. It sounds like they're going to play a little bit more for us, so let's listen in.
Vanderbilt Terrier Regiment under the direction of Brad Adams and Steve Wilson performing, and looks like they're continuing. Let's go.
outstanding performance by the Vanderbilt Catholic High School Band. I tell you, that was exciting. That was almost like a little short concert, huh, Hillary?
That's right, a little Bon Jovi concert.
They did an outstanding job. I really enjoyed that. That was excellent performance.
You talked about the awards they've won in December. The Fantastics dance team traveled to Orlando. They performed in the Capital One Bowl. And in addition to the marching band, the regiment has a dance team, 2 winter guard groups, 2 concert bands, and an indoor percussion group. The Wind Symphony has been invited to Disney Honors National Choral Concert Band and Orchestra Invitational at Disney World in March. Vanderbilt's the only Louisiana band invited to perform.
That is prestigious. That's a great honor. Outstanding performance.
And boy, as you look down the street past where the Vanderbilt band trailers are, look at the mass of people lining the streets 3 and 4 deep in downtown Houma. You can also see the King and his float. He'll be coming up here. VJ Cairo, King number 61 of the crew of Terreanians. King Terre is just coming up now, getting ready to come up to the reviewing stand. And of course, at that time, we will have all the toast and the presentation of honors from the parish, and lots of things happening when it comes to that. And we've spoken so many times to people who are in Mardi Gras, Ken, that are in the position that VJ Cairo is now, being a king of a crew. And it is incredible what happens all year long. It involves all your family, not just yourself, your family, your extended family, all the parties, all the get-togethers. It is incredible what they go through, and it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Well, I bet it is. I can tell you it's a huge undertaking. Mardi Gras is, I know we partake in Mardi Gras right around Fat Tuesday or close to it, but I'll tell you one thing, up until that point, these guys are partying, they're having a good time, but at the same time, they're also organizing what is to be the great parades that we actually partake in every year.
Now, King Terre 61, Mr. VJ Cairo, born and raised in Houma, graduated from South Terrebonne in 72. In 82, he joined the crew of Terreanians, has been a member of the club for 29 years. He's a member of Dane Peanut Leday's float. VJ has sat on the board of directors for many years. He has 2 daughters, Cherise Nicole Cairo, who's 29, and Angèle Cairo Thibodeau, who's 33, and she is the wife of Duke Edward Thibodeau, who we'll be seeing a little bit later on when the Dukes pass by.
Outstanding. Mr. Cairo, he also has 2 grandchildren, Cameron Michael Thibodeau and Evan Luke Thibodeau. Both are 2.5 years old. He is the owner of VJ Cairo Building Contractor, LLC. He started at a young age doing carpentry work for his father. In the late 70s, he branched from his father's company and started a construction business of his own. He also has several rental properties and operates a dump truck service. In 2001, he became a partner of Quest Construction, which is a link belt heavy equipment company with several locations throughout southern Louisiana.
It's a busy man, and besides all of his work, he's earned the honor of doing a little bit of traveling, which he absolutely loves. He's been to places such as Hawaii, Los Angeles, and has been snow skiing several times. He often goes to his farm in Dularge, where he raises several cattle, and to his camp in Cocodrie to relax. So he has life right. You work hard, but you play hard too.
Absolutely, absolutely. Work hard, play hard is so true. VJ spends a lot of time with his grandchildren and is a big fan of Elvis. He collects a lot of Elvis memorabilia, and just like Elvis, put 4 televisions in his bedroom when he built his home. Now that's outstanding. That's exciting, I bet.
I knew I liked Elvis.
He also is a big Saints fan, of course, being from South Louisiana, and watches a lot of both college and NFL football. In speaking with VJ, he is excited and honored to be the king of such a great crew and grateful to have such a wonderful queen. It has been a pleasure celebrating this Mardi Gras season with this queen, he states, and her family and our entire court. They are an amazing group of people and have made this Mardi Gras a memorable experience.
And that's what it's all about. You know, you do this for the love of it, and you soak in every last moment of it with yourself, your family, everyone else involved in this. Some of the Dukes are coming up now. Charles Carnegie, one of the Dukes, who is related to the Queen, and Edward Thibodeau, who is, we just said, is the son-in-law of the king.
Absolutely.
So they're coming up to enjoy all the festivities as well.
We also have our parish president, Michelle Claudet, presenting the key to the city of Houma to the king, which is a great honor, of course, as you already have spoken, Hillary. Here we have that. We'll listen in at the moment.
Of the city of Houma and the parish of Terrebonne, it is my great pleasure to present this key to our great city and parish to King Terre 61. May you have a long and happy reign. Hail King Terre 61.
All right, I only got about 4,000 words to say. All right, y'all got a great parade behind us, and y'all have a good time. The weather's great, and that's my lovely queen and my lovely maids and the lovely Duke's wives and my mom and my youngest daughter. And what's your name again? Oh, Angel. Joking, I'm gonna get in trouble, joking. Y'all have a good time. I gotta give the mic back to you. Can I take the mic with me?
And now the queen is going to go up there in the float and salute her king. The queen is Miss Taylor Brooke Carnegie, and we mentioned Charles Carnegie, one of the dukes, her uncle, is down there. She's 19 years old, the daughter of Mr. Mike and Mrs. Sean Heck and the late Kevin Carnegie. Mike's been a member of the crew for 4 years and rides on James LeConte's float. Taylor, her great-grandfather, Merkel Carnegie Sr., was a founding member of Terreanians. She served as a page in 2000 for King Terre 50 Skipper Carnegie's reign as her grandfather. And Taylor was a maid for King Terre's 60th, Roger Canifax, and Jean-Claire Leday. She has one brother, Braden Heck. Taylor currently is attending LSU, where she's majoring in business, and hopes to graduate in 2014. There we see she got her honors from the parish president as well.
It is now my great pleasure to present the key to our city and parish to Queen Terre 61. May you have a long and happy reign. Thank you. You want to say anything?
And unlike the king, she doesn't wish to say anything.
Modestly so, modestly so.
Well, and you know, every time I've done these for quite a few years, and when you get to this point, whatever, you know, some people are like, "Oh, they just need to roll," you know, but this is an opportunity of a lifetime.
May you have a long and happy reign.
And here's the royal toast.
Man, that's real liquor. It tastes good. First time I drink in my life. All right.
King
I can't
has a
say
sense
the
of
same thing
humor.
Over, but go, y'all messing out if y'all don't have a good time. Really. And I'm gonna let the queen talk. Look at her, give me them eyes. Go ahead.
I just want to thank everyone who came out today, all my maids who came, and we've had so much fun this year. All the dukes and their wives, and to be able to spend this with my family and my friends. It's been an awesome reign and something I'll never get back again, and it's a wonderful experience.
For someone who didn't want to speak, that was very eloquent.
Very well done, very well done. Also want to point out that Taylor actually also graduated from Vanderbilt Catholic High School. We just saw their band. Okay, a few more festivities happening, okay. Tossing out the champagne glasses.
You want me to leave the mic? I'm going out.
Now also, while at Vanderbilt, Taylor was very active. She was the senior class president, a member of the National Honor Society, SWAT, Student Council, and Foreign Language. She was also a maid on the homecoming court, a maid on the senior spirit court, and was voted most likely to succeed by the senior class. So she's a very outgoing individual, very outgoing.
That's quite an honor, and she also has received several awards, which include the Most Wanted Awards, Teacher's Pet, Academic Excellence Award, Foreign Language, Terrier of the Year, and is a 2010 Magna Cum Laude graduate. And of course, a little bit earlier, there's more family coming up now to do all the toast. And we do want to let you know they walked off the float when we first got here, whatever. The pages to their Royal Majesty riding on the float with King Terre. Miss Anastasia Dakota Brown, she's a daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Craig Brown. Mr. Craig Brown and Miss Valerie Brown. Anastasia is 7 years old and attends Lisa Park School. She has one sister, Sarah. She enjoys playing with Sarah and collecting rocks. Craig has been a member of the club for a year, and he rides on Pell Price's float.
And we also have Miss Brianna Elizabeth Sheremy, daughter of Mr. Dean and Mrs. Danielle Sheremy. Brianna is 7 years old and attends St. Francis de Sales School. She enjoys riding horseback, playing with the dolls, and dancing. She has one sister, Darian, who is a page with her sister this year. Deanna, has been a member of the club for 1 year and rides on Russell Bergeron's float.
The next page, Miss Hannah Elizabeth Leonard, the daughter of Mr. Brad and Mrs. Hope Leonard. Hannah's 8 years old, attends Oakshire Elementary. She enjoys camping, cheerleading, and playing school. She has one brother, Bryce. Brad's been a member of the club for 3 years and rides on Mark Davis's float. And the Queens family is now headed up there for their toast. It's her grandfather, Skipper Carnegie, in there in the suit next to his granddaughter right now, who was the 50th king of the crew.
That's going to make a very nice photograph. Outstanding photograph.
The king and queen with the Queen's family.
Now going on with the pages, we have Mrs. Katie Renee Sylvestre, daughter of Mr. Paul and Mrs. Cindy Sylvestre. Katie is 10 years old and attends St. Genevieve School. She has two sisters, Lauren, and Courtney, and one brother, Caleb. Katie enjoys playing softball, music, singing, swimming, and soccer. Paul has been a member of the club for 4 years and rides on Stevie Gilliatt's float.
Next up is the other sister of the pages, Miss Darian Alexandra Sheremy, daughter of Dean and Mrs. Danielle Sheremy. Darian's 10 years old, attends St. Francis de Sales. She enjoys riding horseback, cheerleading, and dancing. Brianna, her sister, is also a page, and congratulations to her. Master Hayden Michael Songi, son of Mr. Corey and Mrs. Heidi Songi. Hayden is 8 years old, and he's in second grade at St. Matthew's Episcopal School. He enjoys baseball, football, golf, hanging out, and playing with his video games. His mother Heidi was a maid for King Terre 49, Mr. Scotty Waldrop. And Corey has been a member of the club for 6 years, and he rides on Ken Daros's float.
Big smile from the Queen there, lots of cheers from the King.
They are having a blast, and more to come is a lot of family and friends, and some of the other royalty will be up on the float with the King and Queen, taking their pictures. 20 floats. This is the first of the 20 floats in the crew of Terreanians. Much more to come.
Yep, that's right, Hillary. We've yet to even get to the first throwing float, so pretty soon here, I'm pretty sure we're going to be bombed with beads and footballs and everything else you can imagine.
Absolutely. When I saw them a little bit earlier, they were throwing. They were definitely throwing, having a great time. King, number 61, King Terre, VJ Cairo, and his queen, Taylor Brooke Carnegie. And, they are enjoying themselves, taking all the pictures and all the photo ops. I mean, goodness gracious. They'll have pictures for life from this. If you go and if you know them and they have a birthday or something coming up, whoever, get them, the digital frames. They can keep rolling things through. They'll need them.
The King saluting the reviewing stand once more, assisting others up onto the float for a picture.
His family coming up now, and like I said, this is just a treat for everybody involved. If you haven't known someone who was royalty in parade, just ask them about it. And if you haven't ridden in a Mardi Gras parade, you need to, because it is. I did it for I think 5 or 6 years.
Wow!
It is a unique experience. The natural high that people get. That's a beautiful picture of the family. The natural high that you get from riding in Mardi, it is a rush. It is so much fun. And I would recommend it to anybody to experience it at least once. And once you will, it won't just be once.
Right, right. Well, you know, Hillary, I haven't had the experience of riding in a parade, but many of my friends have, and they just rave about it. I mean, all year long, that's all they talk about. The moment they get off the float, they start talking about the next year, how awesome it's going to be. And I tell you, I hope I get a chance to experience that at one time in the future there.
Well, and if you talk to the people who are part of a Mardi Gras crew, you know, you have your circle of friends, of course, and a lot of times you ride with them, whatever, but there's also a lot of people that you didn't know before, whatever, and they become like family because you spend so much quality time with them as far as getting everything ready for the parades and the parties and the ride and the tableau. There's so much to do, and you just have a great time because it is such a family affair. People see Mardi Gras sometimes as something other than that, you know, but it is. It's a family affair. All these people riding on the floats are just out there having a good time, trying to, you know, spot their friends when they can and just throwing everybody else besides it. It's just it's mass chaos, but it is just a lot of fun.
Yeah, I also want to point out that this is a huge economic impact to the area.
Absolutely.
Mardi Gras every year draws so many visitors to home Louisiana, Terrebonne Parish. It's amazing what happens in the city around that time. Like I said, it's just a family event. It's a wonderful outing. On a day like today when the weather is just outstanding, you really can't beat it. Getting out, maybe having a little barbecue, maybe a little crawfish boil, listen to some great music, and just enjoy the parade.
The king with his daughters. As I said, a lot of photo opportunities here, and they're just eating this up. It is a lot of fun. His daughters, Charisse and Angèle, taking pictures with the king. King number 61, King Terre VJ Caro. And I'm sure more photo ops to come.
Oh, I'm certain. Looking back down the main street here, I tell you, the crowd is huge. I mean, it is monumental how many people just have poured out into the streets. Oftentimes you'll have individuals will actually catch the actual parade on the other end of Houma, and then they'll come downtown and catch it again a second time. And I think that's what's happening right now.
King giving a bouquet to his queen.
And the king disembarking the float as he enters into the reviewing stand and walks around and greets family members and friends and all of the court.
Giving more bouquets to family. Beautiful day here in Houma. In case you missed this, oh, shame on you. The weather is absolutely gorgeous, probably mid-50s. Had a heavy wind earlier, that has died down. It is just absolutely beautiful out here today. And of course, everybody on the reviewing stand, and you see quite a bit of them there, and the royal couple, all their immediate family, but all up and down this reviewing stand is all friends or relatives or somebody special to the people on the court. They get to experience this also. So, you know, if you're in the, as we mentioned before, if you're in the general proximity of being family in this, whatever, you get to experience a lot of it also.
Yeah, that's outstanding. Being able to partake in this great event, it's got to be just a huge, huge honor to be around all of the royalty and experience all of the parties and everything leading up until this day.
And after the king is finished here with all the saluting and talking to his family and greeting everybody here in the reviewing stand, 19 throwing floats led by the presentation float will be coming up. So you're going to get a chance to see a lot of this. A unique vantage point. I've had the opportunity to watch a couple of parades at the beginning before coming downtown. And when you see these throwing floats come downtown, they have a lot of throws on there.
Wow.
Nothing compared to what they have at the beginning. If you see the beginning of the parade and all that these people invest in Mardi Gras to make this a happy time for everybody out there, it is absolutely incredible the amount of throws that these folks have, all of the crews, when they load up and ride the streets of Houma.
Yeah, probably my favorite throw, Hillary, would definitely have to be the football. Man, I tell you, when they start launching those footballs from maybe 20 yards, 30 yards out from the float, it's exciting trying to catch them.
They had some earlier today that had mini basketballs, but it was the mini rubber basketballs. If you tried to catch those and you just missed, you paid for it. You paid for it. Those old rubber basketballs do not feel good when they're thrown to you from about 30 yards away. It's not like the Nerf football. It's a little bit different, but they had just a fun time riding on these floats, and like I said, they invest a lot of money to participate in these Mardi Gras parades. All of the crews all around the area, not only in Houma, but in Thibodaux, Morgan City, Lockport, La Rosa, all down the bayou. Everybody that has them, you really should go up and thank them and appreciate them for all that they do, because this is not an inexpensive endeavor to ride in Mardi Gras, and they do it because they love it. They do it because they like being part of Mardi Gras and getting all the throws out, whatever, and that's a very good thing that everybody is doing, participating in Mardi Gras, because it is something very special, but it's not something they have to do. When you add up all of the float members just in the cruise of Homas, if we go ahead and start adding up and look through the old paperwork we have, this one has 400 members, this has 600, this has 320, whatever. That's a lot of people. And you mentioned the economic impact that's involved in that. They're buying all their stuff, and then everybody coming to it. Mardi Gras not only is a great celebration, but it's also a boon to the economy.
Absolutely it is. Again, we're having live coverage of the crew of Terreanians Sunday, March 6, 2011. Also want to point out a little bit more of the history of the crew of Terreanians. Past parades back in 1951 thrilled thousands of citizens of Terrebonne and those of nearby parishes who journeyed to Houma to view the spectacle and beg for baubles of beads from the maskers. Membership at that time was fewer than 100 men. The Houma Courier reported the crew of Terreanians' first parade on the front page of Friday, February 9, 1951. Monday night, King Terre and his crew of Terreanians held sway over the fun-loving crowds as the parade, sponsored by the newly organized Greater Houma Carnival Club, moved through the city. Amid thundering applause from thousands of fun-loving subjects who lined the route of the royal caravan, King Terre I made his triumphant entry into the city Monday night in Homa's first night carnival spectacle.
And there's so much history to this club. We mentioned earlier that February 5th, 1951 was the first parade, and that was at night. And the end of that year and the beginning of the next 52, they acquired a den and float construction began. Now the tableau and ball used to be at the old American Legion home, and that was moved to the Houma Municipal Auditorium when that opened up in 1958, and that was held there for 42 years. Now on 1960, it was the last time the Terreanians rolled at night, February 27th, 1960, their 10th anniversary, and in 1961, the first day parade held Sunday afternoon, February 12th of 61. In 66, they changed their corporate name from the Greater Houma Carnival Club, Inc. to Terre Carnival Club, Inc. You mentioned earlier, the first doubloon minted in 1967 and was the first rained-out parade, first and only rained-out parade for Terreanians. And you see the king, who is on the reviewing stand now, talking to all the friends and family and all the the wives of the dukes and everybody else here. He's getting ready to get back on the float to continue on. This crew has 400 members, and they consist of 20 floats along with 4 marching bands today. And I tell you, it is indeed a treat. The pages, you can see them, they are back. And we would like to tell you again the names of the pages. Miss Anastasia Dakota Brown, Miss Brianna Elizabeth Sheremy, Miss Hannah Elizabeth Leonard, Miss Katie Renee Sylvestre, Miss Darian Alexandra Sheremy, and Master Haiti Michael Sonji. The pages for King Terre 61, VJ Cairo.
The King there, again.
He is making his way. He is just having a good time. He, you know, as we mentioned, it involves a whole lot of people, and he's going around thanking every one of them for being part of this great year for him.
He's showing his benevolence. He's making sure that he doesn't miss one person. He wants to make sure that he thanks everyone that has been in big support of his reign this year.
And also the 2 Dukes, who are family members, are getting back on, and they'll be getting down off of the King's float to go back to their convertibles a little further down, as they wanted to be part of the festivities here. And so they are now, okay, oh, they had something a little special to give to their loved ones on the float as well, so they're going to take care of that before they get back out there to their convertibles.
And it looks like the pages are strapping in. As you can see there, they wear their safety belts to make sure that they're not thrown around on this route as they go down Main Street in Houma.
And Ken, everybody should really be thankful too for all of our police officers in the area. Terrebonne Parish Sheriff's Office, the Houma Police Department, State Troop, everybody involved in here in the parades in Houma and all around. Lafourche Parish, Thibodaux, all around who are involved in all of these parades. It is a lot of work for them. A lot of their folks put in a ton of time to make sure that parades go off without a hitch, and they still have to do their regular job as well. So it is indeed something that is a lot of work. And there you see the King. King Terre, VJ Cairo.
King Terre, 61.
You have a good day, sir.
Next up is the Houma Shriners Clown Unit. Look at that great bike coming up with the clown in it. That is terrific.
That is.
See the dune buggies, and there you see the clown right there. And that bike, I need one of those bikes. I could actually probably drive that safely.
On a nice sunny day, keep you shaded in from the sun. You can hear the excitement. The crowd is just getting really excited. They're ready for that first throwing float to come by, tossing those beads. Now
the Shriners dune buggies coming up the road.
Now the clown unit is led by Captain Wayne LaBeouf. The dune buggies led by Captain Johnson Buquet. And Terry Taradellis is captain of the golf cart units, all of which are members of the Houma Shrine Club, are under the leadership of President Herbert Fitch. Herbert has been the president of the Shriners from 1999 to 2000, and again in 2011. He is also a 2-time past Houma motorcycle captain and is employed by the Terrebonne Parish Sheriff's Office.
And they do a lot of great things. Besides being in Mardi Gras and doing a lot of charity stuff, they volunteer their times for escorts for weddings, for 5Ks, all the 5Ks. You always see them helping out with blocking the roads, making sure everything goes well. The Shriners are a huge organization with 550,000 members strong that all support, as we mentioned earlier, their hospitals for kids, orthopedic and burn hospitals, and that's just tremendous.
That is tremendous. That really is. The Houma Shrine Club, which is part of the Shriners of North America, own and operate 22 hospitals throughout the United States, Canada, and Mexico.
Of course, the crew of Terreanians welcomes them being part of the parade today, and they look forward to having them stay as an important part of the crew for many years to come. Tremendous to have them in the parades. They really entertain the kids and the big kids like us during the parades. Outstanding. With the Shriners, with the dune buggies, with the bikes, with the golf carts, and with the motorcycles. They do a lot of entertaining throughout.
Well, I can tell you, growing up, those dune buggies were the highlight for me, man. They are awesome. They really are awesome. They're loud engines, loud horns. They really know how to get the party started, I tell you.
Some great shots by our camera crew and everybody in the truck, showing you everybody coming downtown here and passing in front of the reviewing stand. And you will hear not only just with the dune buggies passing by here, but when the floats come, you're going to hear some tremendous sound systems. That is one thing that the crews really take pride in now, is how good a jam they're going to have on parade day.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It becomes almost a competition. Who has the loudest float?
Everything's a competition.
And the best music.
Who throws the best, who has the best sound system, everything. It's a lot of fun. And you know, when you do stuff like this, you know, you have to make it fun. You have to, you know, if you're enjoying yourself, people will enjoy it with you. And that's what's so great about Carnival, is that they can tell that these people are genuinely having a great time.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, just like it looks like this day just gets better and better now that the day keeps going on and on. The weather is outstanding right now. It's still nice and sunny as the sun begins to go down a little bit, but it's still very beautiful.
A lot of fun out here tonight. They see the presentation float, which is coming by down the street there. Right in front of us right now is the LA 106.3 Rock Hits radio van. And there's float number 2, the presentation float, the float captain, Mr. James LeConte. He's a 27-year member of Crew of Terreanians, 5th year as a float captain. Mo Skurlock, who was king number 51 and past captain of the parade, is on the float. And Paul Chauvin, the current parade captain, is also a member of this float. Float number 2, the presentation float for the Crew of Terreanians. I'm so thankful to have this netting up.
That was exciting. Several of those guys tried to launch packs of beads at us, but we were well protected.
Yeah, I think, did you wonder for a minute why I was egging them on and thinking, oh, I'm so glad we have this.
You mentioned sound systems. That was a really, really good sound system.
That was a good one. The first Duke, Mr. Edward Thibodeau, we saw him up here for the toast a little while ago. Graduated from Ellender, attended LSU and Nichols, the president of Commander Technologies, and the franchise of Voodoo Barbecue and Grill in Houma and Metairie. He's married to the King's daughter, Angèle. They have 2 sons, Evan and Cameron, involved in a lot of charity work. He is gaining quite a reputation for that. There are a lot of very, very good business people down here in the Bayou area who are very generous.
Oh, absolutely.
And he has fit in very well with that. He does work with March of Dimes, American Cancer Society, and other local charities.
Yeah, Edward's a great guy. He's a good friend of mine. Went to high school with Edward, and I'm very proud of his accomplishments. He's done a wonderful thing in the community here. Now next is float number 3, the title float.
And while we see that right behind Edward, we do want to acknowledge his maid. It's Miss Corinne Marie Graffinino, who represented a legend before time at the tableau. She's the daughter of Greg and Kelly Graffinino. She's a senior at Vanderbilt. She plays volleyball, tennis, is a member of the student council, and enjoys dancing. She intends to go to LSU, where she wants to get her bachelor degree. And at LSU, she hopes to play volleyball and join a sorority. Corinne's father, Greg, rides on Mike Cuz Prospery's float and has been a member for 3 years. That is the Duke, Edward Thibodeau, and his maid, Corinne Marie Graffinino.
There again is float number 3. Title of the float is What Time Is It?, which is the theme of today's parade. Captain of the title float is Mr. Ken Dayrosh. Ken has been a member of the crew for 17 years. Ken and his wife, Angela, have 3 children, one of whom is also a rider on today's title float, along with his father. There are 13 members on this float in total.
Float number 3, what time is it? They are having a blast. Next up, coming up the street, float number 4, representing Legends Before Time. Its float captain is Mr. Russell Bezron. He's been a member of the crew for 3 years and has been a float captain for 3 years. His assistant, Mr. Cody McElroy, has been on the float for 7 years. There are 24 members of this float. Float number 4, Legends Before Time.
Oh, you were talking about those basketballs. They're throwing those basketballs already. Look how far out, man.
Next up is the H.L. Bourgeois Marching Band under the direction of band director Miss Cindy Collins. Cindy's from Houma, graduated from Vanderbilt, attended Nicholls State, and received a Bachelor of Music Education from Northwestern State. She's been teaching for 25 years and at H.L. Bourgeois for 13 years, where she's been band director since. There's 60 members of the band, which include their cheerleaders. Miss Bridget Olivier is the principal, and the Bourgeois Marching Band is known as the Marching Sensation from the Brave Reservation. They performed at various marching festivals where they received superior ratings for all of their performances.
That's right, Hillary. I also want to point out that Ms. Collins has been selected by the Louisiana Bandmaster Association as its Bandmaster of the Year for 2010. Outstanding. Assistant band directors are Eric Salmon and Michael Eunice. The band captain is Trevor LeBlanc. Drum major is My Land. Field sergeant Xavier Matthew. Percussion captains Scott Knight and Lauren Heigl. And also the guard captain is Amber Gerwin. Thanks go out to the marching sensation from the Brave Reservation for being with us today.
the marching sensation from the Brave Reservation.
Absolutely.
And kudos, too, for the parents who walk along
Absolutely.
with the parade. They're not in as good a shape as the kids are walking the shrine. I see, you're young. I can attest to that. They're not in as good a shape as the kids. And they're marching along with them, making sure that everything goes well along the parade route.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's also a big commitment, like you said, from the parents. Get out there and march several miles with their children, the students of the marching band, to make sure that everything goes along safely and in order.
Now coming up the road now, right past the Bourgeois trailer, the second Duke, Mr. Charles Carnegie. We saw him a little bit earlier for the toast, the uncle of the Queen. He's been in the club for 8 years. He's a current board member and a captain for his float. He graduated from Vanderbilt in '99. He's a project manager for Shamrock Management. He's the grandson of M.B. Carnegie, one of the founding members of Terreanians, the son of King Terre 50, Skipper Carnegie, and he is the brother of Queen Terre the 42nd, Elizabeth Carnegie Fontenot, and of course, as we mentioned, the uncle of the reigning queen. Charles is also a page for King 37 Sid Sunbury. And he is walking up now. There you see him, a great shot of Charles Carnegie.
Having a good time, super excited, full of energy.
And he has, you know, being related to the Queen, being a Duke, his dad's a former king, his sister's a former queen, and his grandfather was a founding member. He has a lot of folks up here.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now Charles's maid is Miss J.C. Susanna Boudreau, who represented the most wonderful time of the year in last night's tableau. She is the daughter of Mr. Robert and Mrs. Sandy Boudreau. J.C. has one sister, Jordan, and a brother, Jared. J.C., 17 years old, and is a senior at H.L. Bourgeois High. She is a member of the National Honor Society, dual program, Nichols State 2-day-a-week mentor, Red Ribbon, editor of the yearbook. She works at the American Eagle. Robert has been in the club for 6 years and is a member of Tommy Hebert's float.
That's a busy young lady.
Yes, she is.
Charles Carnegie's maid, Miss J.C. Susanna Boudreau. Float number 5 is coming up next. That is representing playoff time. Playoffs? The float captain is Miss Gary Chatinier. Mr. Gary has been a member of the crew for 36 years, a float captain for 15 years, a member of the board of directors for 7 years, 16 members on this float. Playoff time. Here you see a good shot of downtown. It's the ESPN radio van. And following that is float number 6.
Representing Cooking Time. The float captain is Mr. Tim Stevens. Tim is a new float captain this year. The name of Tim's float is These Loose Cannons. They are a blend of fairly newcomers who had only been in the club for 2 years and veterans.
The front of the float looks like a really mad waiter at Cafe Du Monde. Someone didn't leave a tip.
Serving cafe au lait.
Coming up next is the U.S. Army Recruiting Hummer. It's a pleasure to have the U.S. Army with Terreanians again this year. Of course, we all owe a great debt of gratitude to the men and women who serve us proudly in the armed forces near and abroad. And of course, without them, this country would not be what it is today.
That's absolutely right, Hillary. And here they are now. It's a nice looking Hummer too.
Bayou Cane Fire Department truck is following the Army Hummer. And then coming up is the Houma Junior High School Band under the direction of Mr. Glenn Dagenhart. He's also joined by Tiki Simmons, instructor of the color guard. Mr. Dagenhart has been teaching instrumental music at Houma Junior High for 21 years. He was awarded Teacher of the Year for Houma Junior High in Terrebonne Parish 3 times. He is a coordinator for the District Band Directors Association Solo Ensemble Festival and is currently serving the 2nd term as Vice President of Phi Beta Mu, which is a national honorary band director fraternity. The Houma Junior High Band has an average membership of approximately 225 students. They have 3 performing bands, symphonic, concert, and cadet band, as well as the marching band playing today. They've earned the first concert band sweepstakes rating ever at a state level for H.O. Bourgeois since 1993.
And there's a good look of the band marching downtown. Now, since 1993, Houma Junior High has earned 28 sweepstakes at the District Concert Band Festival. It is certainly a pleasure to have Houma Junior High Band marching in the Crew of Terreanians Parade today.
The Houma Junior High trailer coming up now. And then our 3rd Duke will be approaching. We are here downtown Houma, March 6th, the Crew of Terreanians, the 61st Crew of Terreanians, and they are having a blast. The King, Mr. V.J. Cairo, was here just a moment ago as he did all the toast with everybody. His Queen, Taylor Carnegie. Everybody just having a great time up here in the reviewing stand and really enjoying their moment here on Mardi Gras Sunday. The next Duke, I told you, these guys get a lot of work. This is Duke, Mr. Jason Bergeron, as he's walking up. He's been in the club for 5 years. He is the captain of his float. He's a board member for Terreanians for 3 years, serving as president for 2 of those years. Jason graduated from South Terrebonne in '93, attended McAllister College in St. Paul, Minnesota. He is the co-owner of Technology Professionals, LLC. He's also a board member for the Chamber of Commerce and a member of the Who Dat Nation. Aren't we all? He's also the Sheriff's Office Bayou Region Crime Stoppers Board representative. In his spare time, he enjoys riding his Harley and giving back to the community. He's in Rotary with me in the Sunrise Rotary Club. He's another one of those guys, and a lot of these people are, that love to give back to the community.
Absolutely, absolutely. Jason's a great guy. We've actually served on several boards together. Very hard-working man. And as you can see here, he's coming down. It's a good shot of Jason right there.
His maid is Miss Lauren Elizabeth Landry. She represented TV Time in last night's tableau. She's the daughter of Mr. David and Mrs. Julie Landry. Lauren has one brother, Eric. She's 17, and she's a senior at Vanderbilt, a member of the Student Council, Key Club, National Honor Society, fantastic dance team, choir, campus ministry, dance competition. They probably could have gone on. They didn't have enough room in the paper.
It just goes on and on. It just goes on and on.
Lauren plans to attend LSU, where she plans on majoring in business and being in a sorority. And her father, David, has been in the club for 9 years and is a member of Jason Bergeron's float. Duke Jason Bergeron, followed by the 7th float representing bullfighting time, and that is Jason's float where he's float captain.
Outstanding. The float captain, again, as you know, mentioned, is Mr. Jason Bergeron, who is having a great time walking in front of his float at the moment. Jason has been a float captain for 5 years and was on the board of directors for the crew of Terreanians, where he served as president for 2 years.
I'm trying to figure out how they did that. They threw a football over us, it bounced off, and ended up right next to us. Great throw.
That was a great throw.
All right, now these are some of the hardest working people in Mardi Gras all year in all the parades, and that is Cellu-Craig. 25 years ago, Mardi Gras crew asked for 6 to 10 members of Hercules to walk the route for their parade wearing their original costumes as float riders, and that's where Cellu-Craig started. It is actually Hercules spelled backwards except for the Y, and they participate in Mardi Gras. They have a great time. They travel around the state for charity functions and raise money. They do a terrific job.
Absolutely. The group now walks and dances with painted tuxedo jackets and decorated umbrellas alongside of a souped-up 66 Cadillac hearse with a mega sound system, and is known for handing out extra long beads. And here's a shot of that souped-up 66 right now.
And of course, walking and dancing the entire parade route, they need a little break every now and then, so they have their bus riding right behind them so they can get a little bit of a break. Not much though. After that, float number 8 is coming up. It is Historical Times. The float captain is Mr. Mark Davis. He's been a member of the crew for 9 years. Has served on the board of directors for 4 years. There are 25 members of this float. Float number 8, Historical Times. Boy, these guys unloaded.
They are on fire, man.
And they're playing Tower of Power. It doesn't get any better than that.
Now our 4th Duke is Mr. Dane Peanut Leday Jr. He is a current board member and has been in the club for 14 years and is the captain for his float. Dane graduated from Vanderbilt Catholic High in 1984. He is vice president of his family's alligator farm and co-owner of Alligator Bits and Pieces. Dane enjoys carnival, collecting antiques, flying, and spending time with his family and friends. He is married to Dawn and has 3 daughters, John Claire, who is Queen Terre 60th, Cinda, and Francesca, and has 1 grandson, Justin James.
Dane's maid is Miss Heather Jean Langlois, who represents Carnival Time. She's the daughter of Mr. Jimmy and Mrs. Sherry Langlois. Heather has one brother, Cody. She's 17, a senior at Terrebonne, where she's a member of the Tigerettes, Student Council, Key Club, and Honor Society. She plans on attending Nicholls State, where she wants to major in nursing. Her dad, Jimmy, has been in the club for 6 years and is a member of Mark Davis's float.
And following is float number 9, representing Carnival Time. The float captain is Mr. Dallas Boudreaux. Dallas has been a member of the crew for 16 years and serves on the board of directors for 8 years. There are 29 members on this float. Dallas is also on the Den Committee. His son Austin was a past page in 2005 for King Tear 55, Andy Donovan.
Float number 9, Carnival Time.
All right, next is Acadian Ambulance Gator. Acadian Ambulance Service, a division of Acadian companies, has been serving Terrebonne Parish since 1973. In addition to the medically configured all-terrain Gator riding in today's parade, Acadian has strategically located 6 ambulances and an additional Gator around the parade route to be able to quickly respond to emergencies in and around the parade.
Now float number 10 is representing Tiger Time. The float's captain is Mr. Mike White. He's been a member of the crew for 9 years, been float captain for 9 years, 22 members on this float. It is float number 10, Tiger Time, and all the LSU fans are going nuts.
And there's a great shot of float number 10, Tiger Time.
Now the next Duke is in front of the reviewing stand right now is Mr. Jared Toops. He's a member of Dane Peanut Leday's float. He's been in the club for 3 years, and he is toasting his lovely wife, Shelly. Jared and Shelly, great people. I had the opportunity to work with them in the Vanderbilt Golf Tournament last year. They are some good people. And there you see Jared and Shelly. He is the director of operations for Oil States, and he and his wife own Artistic Embroidery. They have 2 children, Brent, 16, and Lindsay, 14, and Jared's maid is Candace Chauvin.
That's right, Hillary. Jared's maid is Candace Chauvin, who represented Storytime in last night's tableau. She is the daughter of the current parade captain, Mr. Paul and Mrs. Jackie Chauvin. Candace has one sister, Courtney. She's 17 years old and is a senior at Vanderbilt Catholic High. She is a member of the Fantastics dance team, campus ministry, and yearbook. Candace plans to attend Nicholls State University after graduation and majoring in business, and also plans to join a sorority.
Next float is number 11, representing Time to Monkey Around. Mr. Dane Peanut Leday's float captain. King Tear 49, Bobby Terrio. King Tear 42, Dickie Weber. King Tear 28, Ronnie Hadel. King Tear 60, Roger Canifax. And board member and Duke Eugene McElroy ride on this float. 34 riders on this float.
Wow.
They're finding some kind of way to get the beats to us, Ken.
They really are. Now here we have Evergreen Junior High School Marching Band under the direction of Mr. Eric Salmon. The drum majors are Jeffrey Miller and Candy Poston. Color guard captain is Kaylee Bourgeois, and the co-captain is Samantha Weaver. The Evergreen Junior High School Marching Band is made up of over 100 8th and 9th graders. They participate in various functions throughout the year, including football games, concerts, festivals, and of course, Mardi Gras. Thanks to Evergreen for being a part of the Crew of Terreanians Parade today. Great sounding band.
The Evergreen Junior High Marching Band.
And there we also have a shot of the Evergreen Junior High cheerleaders also passing directly behind the band.
And next up down the way, you see the convertible. That is the 6th Duke Eugene P. McElroy, a member of Dane Peanut Leday's float. He's been in the club for 17 years. He's a current board member, graduated from South Terrebonne in '72 and then attended Nicholls State. He's an engineer assistant for Shell Pipeline. In his spare time, he enjoys playing golf, hunting, woodworking, and gardening. He's married to Evelyn and has 2 daughters, Emily and Erin, and has a granddaughter, Madison. Both of his daughters were maids for Terreanian, and his granddaughter was a page last year. His maid is Allison Arsenault.
And as Eugene approaches, we'll tell you about his maid, Miss Allison Claire Arsenault, who represented Vacation Time in last night's tableau. She is the daughter of Mark and Adeline Arsenault. Allison has 1 brother, Jeremy, and 1 sister, Monique. She is 17 years old and is a senior at Vanderbilt Catholic High. She is a member of the Fantastics dance team, band, softball, campus ministry, volleyball, and student council. Allison plans to attend Nicholls State University after graduating and majoring in nursing. Mark has been in the club for 5 years and is a member of Steve Guillot's float.
Mark and Adeline, some really good people. And Allison Claire, my daughter is Allison Claire, spelled exactly the same way.
Wow.
Not intentional, but some good people. And the Duke Eugene McElroy paying homage to his maid, Allison Claire Arsenault. And there he is right there with his wife, and he wants to make sure to get pictures. There he's going over to his maid. There is Allison.
All right.
And now, Ken, it's time for float 12.
And float 12, representing time for big game hunting. The float captain is Charles Carnegie. He has been in the club for 10 years and has been a float captain for 4 years. Charles, father of Skipper King Terre 50th, also rides on his float. Charles has 21 riders total on his float.
Float number 12.
Float number 12.
That's a big old bear with a fish in his mouth and a Saints logo on his chest. Float number 13 coming right behind them, representing medieval times. The float captain is Pell Price. He's been a member of the crew for 16 years. He's a past board of director for 6 years. His assistant float captain is Harris Alamo, who's been in the club for 18 years and was a board of director. There are 12 members on Pell's float. Float number 13, medieval times.
That guy's good.
They are having a blast.
Yes, they are. They're good.
Float 14 right behind them, representing fun time. The float captain is Jamie Owens. Many of the riders on Jamie's float are new to the crew of Terreanians. Jamie's been in the club for 9 years. He used to be on Pell Price's float, and he raised the level of the crew of Terreanians by getting in 17 float riders. Most of them, this is only their second ride with the crew of Terreanians.
That is a huge feat, I tell you, man. To get that many float riders to join your float within that amount of time is a massive accomplishment.
Float number 14, Fun Times.
They're going crazy.
They are having a blast.
Mark.
The 7th Duke is Mr. Mike Whitney. He's a member of Stevie G's float, Stevie Gilliard. He's been in the club for 4 years. Mike graduated from Terrebonne in '76, attended LSU. He's the owner of Napa Auto Parts here in Houma. In his spare time, he enjoys fishing, hunting, and cooking. He is married to Becky and has 2 daughters, Emma, 15, and Anna, 23. Mike's maid is Amy DeGate.
Yeah, that's right, Hillary. Now, Miss Amy Lynn DeGate, who represented Showtime in last night's tableau, she is the daughter of Vincent and Sally DeGate. Amy has 2 sisters, Jessica and Megan. She is 17 years old and is a senior at Vanderbilt Catholic High. She is the captain of the Fantastics dance team and is a member of the Honor Society. Amy plans on attending University of Louisiana at Monroe, where she plans to major in pharmacy. Vincent has been in the club for 4 years and is a member of Steve Guyot's float.
And there you see the Duke, Mr. Mike Whitney, and his maid, and his wife is right on the other side holding the banana, or right there, leaning over. That is his wife, Becky. He is having a great time. Mike Whitney, the 7th Royal Duke for the crew of Terreanians. Float number 15 is coming up now, representing Party Time in the Big Easy. The float captain is the infamous Stevie G, Stevie Gilliard. The float members of Stevie G's crew came from the crew of Christopher that disbanded 6 years ago. And riding on his float is Kerry Chauvin, King Tear 43. There are 26 riders on Stevie G's float.
Wow. And it's a loud float.
That is a heck of a sound system.
Yes, it is. All right.
They were having a great time.
Oh,
now
yes,
float
they
number
were.
16, Ken.
Float number 16 representing boiling time. The float captain is Mr. Tommy Hebert, King Tear 58. He has been in the crew for 29 years and the float captain for 7 years. King Tear 59, Brian Bunn rides this float and is also assistant float captain. There are 16 members on this float.
They are having some fun.
Oh, yeah.
Good group of guys on Tommy's float. They're having a blast.
Man, they are bombing you with footballs.
If I could only catch. They are having a blast. Float number 17 is coming up here. It is representing basketball time down in New Orleans. The float captain is Scotty Waltrip. Scotty's been a member of the crew for 23 years. He was King Terre 48, King Terre 47, Ed Laurent, and the 52nd King, Dr. Raul Doria, also are on this float. 24 members. Float 17, basketball time down in New Orleans. They're telling us that we're just not right for having this mesh around us.
I know.
I'm feeling very safe.
There's a shot of Duke number 8, Roger Canifax. He is a member of Dame Peanut Leday's float. Roger has been in the club for 27 years and was King Terre's 60th.
That's right. Last year, he was the king.
Outstanding. He also served as the parade captain and den chairman for 10 years. Roger was in the first class to graduate from South Terrebonne High in 1962. He attended the University of Southwestern Louisiana, now known as ULL. Over the years, Roger has been a welder in the oil field, co-owner, secretary, and vice president of ABC Bake Company and ABC Boat Company. He currently is a safety instructor for Falk Alford Safety Services. Roger is a very devoted husband, father, and grandfather. He enjoys fishing, playing golf, and visiting with close friends. He is married to the lovely Miss Wanda and has 3 children, Roger Jr., Susan, and Dana. He also has 7 grandchildren, Bradley, Caitlin, who served as his page last year, Christian, Keely, Brandon, Logan, and Lauren.
And Roger's maid is Miss Megan Elizabeth Dupre, who's representing Game Time. She's the daughter of Mr. Rory Dupre and Mrs. Susie Newell. Megan has one brother, Hayden Newell. She's 17 years old, senior at Vanderbilt. She's captain of the varsity cheerleading squad and enjoys dancing. She plans to attend Nichols after graduating and major in pharmacy. Rory's been in the club for 10 years and is a member of Tommy Hebert's float. That is Roger Canifax, Duke, and his maid, Miss Megan Elizabeth Dupre.
Now next is float 18, representing time for big game fishing. The float captain is Mr. A.C. Vitter. A.C. has been a member of the crew for 29 years and has been a float captain for the past 7 years. There are 20 members on this float. Wow.
Float number 19 is coming up now. It's representing football time in Death Valley. The float captain is Mike Cuz Prosperi. Cuz is a new float captain this year. He was King Terre 54. There are 20 members on this float. Nice football player on the front with the Chinese bandits on there. And the last float for the crew of Terreanians is coming up the street here. It is representing times of the Roman Empire. The float captain is Mr. Lance Dehart. He's been a member of the crew for 17 years and a float captain for the past 13 years. His father, King Terre 41, Wilfred Possum Dehart, and King Terre 56, Terry Bro Jr. ride this float. There are 13 members on this float. The final float for the crew of Terreanians, number 20, Times of the Roman Empire. The members and captains and board of directors for the crew of Terreanians would like to sincerely thank the Shriners, the bands that participated, the U.S. Army who proudly serve our country, and the Boy Scouts for leading off the parade. The crew of Terreanians legacy members Sid Sunbury and the Honorable Randy Bethencourt. The officers are Mr. Terry Bruce, the president, T. Kai Adams, vice president, Chris Domingue, treasurer, Mark Davis, secretary, and the captains. The one of the parade, Mr. Paul Chauvin, captain of the ball, Mr. Donnie Bro. We appreciate everybody enjoying this great parade. Ken, enjoyed it, my friend.
I had a blast. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, everybody.
And stay tuned for HTV for more Mardi Gras coverage, lots of tableaus, lots of parades. For Ken Jenkins, I'm Hillary Domingue, all the great crew here at HTV. You've been watching the crew of Terreanians 2011 parade. Congratulations again to VJ Cairo, the king, and Taylor Carnegie, the queen. Good night, everybody.